You wake up at 3 in the morning with a tightness in your chest that no amount of breathing can dissolve. Your mind races through every mistake, every loss, every word you wish you could take back. You feel broken. You feel like something went wrong in the making of you. But what if I told you that this pain, this suffering that keeps you awake, is not a malfunction at all? What if your agony is exactly what nature intended, carved into your biology with the precision of 4 billion years? This is not a comforting thought. This is not about healing or finding peace. This is about understanding that your pain has a purpose, and that purpose is far more beautiful and terrible than you ever imagined. We are the only species that knows it will die. We are the only creatures who can imagine futures that will never come and mourn pasts that can never return. A gazelle does not lie awake wondering if its life has meaning. A wolf does not question whether its existence matters in the grand scheme of things. But you do. Every single night, some part of you wrestles with the unbearable weight of being conscious in a universe that offers no answers. And this is where the tragedy begins, not in what happened to you, but in what you are. You are a biological machine that evolved to survive, now cursed with the ability to ask why. Your brain, that 3-pound universe inside your skull, was never designed for happiness. It was designed for one thing only: to keep your genes alive long enough to replicate. Everything else, every thought, every emotion, every moment of existential dread, is a side effect of that singular evolutionary mandate. Let me take you back 500 million years, to a time when the first neural networks began forming in primitive organisms. These early brains were simple danger detectors, nothing more than clusters of cells that could sense threat and trigger movement away from harm. Pain was the original teacher, the first language life ever spoke. If something hurt you, you learned to avoid it. If something felt good, you learned to seek it. This was the birth of suffering, but it was clean, mechanical, purposeful. A fish does not philosophize about its pain. It simply swims away from the hook. But then something catastrophic happened in the evolution of consciousness. Somewhere along the timeline, between the first mammals and the emergence of primates, the brain began to do more than react. It began to predict. It began to remember. It began to simulate futures that did not yet exist and replay pasts that could not be changed. This was the moment we became human, and this was the moment we became condemned. Because a brain that can anticipate danger is a brain that can suffer before anything bad even happens. You do not need to be in pain to feel pain. You only need to imagine it. And you are so very good at imagining it. Do you ever feel like consciousness was never meant to exist? Like we are some kind of cosmic mistake, a glitch in the otherwise smooth machinery of nature? Right, I felt it too, if you understand. Because you are not alone in this. Millions of us carry this same strange burden, this awareness that we are alive in a way that feels both miraculous and unbearable. And the science confirms what we feel in our bones. The prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for planning, reasoning, and self-awareness, is the same region that lights up when you experience regret, shame, and existential anxiety. The very thing that makes you human is the same thing that makes you suffer. You are not broken. You are exactly what evolution made you to be. A creature capable of extraordinary insight and equally extraordinary torment. Now here is where it gets even darker. Your suffering is not just a byproduct of consciousness. It is a feature, not a bug. Natural selection does not care about your happiness. It cares about survival and reproduction, and pain is one of the most efficient tools it has ever invented. Physical pain keeps you from touching fire, from walking off cliffs, from letting your body deteriorate. But emotional pain, that deep psychological anguish you feel, serves an equally important function. Social rejection hurts because for most of human history, being cast out from the tribe meant death. Loneliness activates the same neural pathways as physical injury because isolation was a survival threat. Anxiety keeps you vigilant, scanning the horizon for dangers that might never come, because the cost of missing one real threat is death. Your depression, your dread, your sleepless nights are not signs that you are defective. They are signs that you are alive in a world that has always been hostile, and your brain is doing exactly what it was built to do: protect you. Even if that protection feels like torture. But then there is the cruelest twist of all. You are not just a survival machine. You are a survival machine that knows it is a survival machine. You can see the puppet strings. You can feel the evolutionary programming running through your veins, and yet you cannot escape it. You know that your love is just oxytocin and dopamine. You know that your fear is just amygdala activation. You know that your sense of meaning is just a narrative your brain constructs to make sense of chaos. And knowing this does not free you. It only makes the cage more visible. You are trapped inside a body that wants to survive, piloting a mind that wants to understand, and the two are forever at war. This is the human condition, not a disease to be cured, but a design to be endured. And yet, there is something strangely beautiful in all of this. Because if pain is the design, then every moment you continue to exist in spite of it is an act of defiance. Every morning you wake up and choose to face the weight of consciousness is a quiet rebellion against the indifference of nature. You were not made to be happy. You were made to endure, and you have endured. Through heartbreak and loss, through failure and regret, through every night you thought you could not survive, you are still here. That is not weakness. That is the most profound strength a conscious being can possess. The ability to stare into the void, to feel the full weight of existence, and to keep going anyway. Not because there is a reward waiting at the end, but because you are the kind of creature who continues even when there is no reason to. That is what makes you human. Not your joy, not your hope, but your capacity to suffer and to choose life despite it. So if you have ever felt like your pain is too much, like you were not built for this world, I want you to hear this. You were built for exactly this. Every sleepless night, every wave of anxiety, every moment of doubt is proof that you are functioning exactly as nature designed. You are not a mistake. You are a masterpiece of evolutionary engineering, sculpted by billions of years of survival, death, and adaptation. And your pain is not a flaw. It is the signature of your existence. The cost of being awake in a universe that sleeps. The price of consciousness in a world of matter. You are the way the universe looks at itself and weeps. And that is not a tragedy. That is the most honest thing you will ever be. If you see beauty in the darkness of existence, you belong here. Subscribe to this channel if you want to keep exploring the uncomfortable truths that most people turn away from. Because here, we do not pretend that life is anything other than what it is. We do not sell hope. We offer clarity. And sometimes, that is the only real comfort there is.